Hey, what's up YouTube? Down in the Smartphone Guy coming back at you with another video, and tonight I want to take a look at a bargain smartwatch. This is the Lemfo LES one, and currently you can pick this up on gearbest.com for less than $100. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that real quick. So here it is. It's $110 when you look at it on their website, but I'm going to leave a link down in the description for a coupon for it, and you'll be able to get this for roughly around 10 to 13% off depending on the day. You can check back on it, but you'll get anywhere from 10 to 13% off, making this less than $100. So just as a quick comparison, this is the Huawei Watch 2. This is a watch that I picked up for, I think I paid $250, but the regular price is $300 for it. And this watch right here can actually do a whole lot more than what this watch can do. And we'll talk about whether it's worth it, because there are some drawbacks definitely to a watch like this one from Lemfo, but we'll go ahead and talk about those as we get into this review. So first of all, as you can see, it's available in two different colors. There's a silver and a black, basically the only difference being that this one has a black bezel, whereas the other one has the silver bezel. And I'm not sure about the button. It looks like on here it's silver, where on here it's red. And I actually kind of like that red look to it. Kind of accents the watch itself. So let's go ahead and jump into the watch here. We're going to talk about the description because it offers all of the specs here. So you can see here that it is Lemfo LES 1. It is a 3G smartwatch. I did try this out with both T-Mobile and Cricket, and in both cases I was able to get 3G service. So it uses a nano SIM. You're just going to use a little screwdriver, take that screw out, pop in your SIM, and you can get 3G service as long as you're on a GSM network. So Sprint, T-Mobile, Sprint and Verizon do not apply here. Just T-Mobile, AT&T, Cricket, Metro PCS, and other MVNOs that are using GSM networks. So you'll be fine there. So it is a 1.39-inch AMOLED display. It has Android 5.1. We have a MediaTek 6580 quad-core processor at 1 gigahertz. So in comparison, this watch is running a 2100 Snapdragon processor. This one has 1 gig of RAM, 16 gigs of onboard storage, which is fantastic. You can actually get quite a few things on there with 16 gigs of onboard storage on a watch. So in comparison, we got one with 4 gigs here. So a whole lot more on this watch right here. Now we do have a heart rate monitor, Wi-Fi, a pedometer, and Bluetooth 4.0. Let's see if there's anything else worth mentioning here. Here are the networks. So WCDMA, that's what you're going to use for 3G on both T-Mobile and AT&T. So that 850 is the band that I happen to get in my area, and it worked just fine with 3G. Now, with that being said, I actually prefer not to use this as a 3G smartwatch because of the fact that when I did, I was only getting close to like maybe 12 hours of battery life. So battery life with a SIM card in it is not good. The primary way I was using it is as a Bluetooth connected device. It does come with an app that you can use to connect it, and it's called WiiWare. So I'll go ahead and jump into that real quick. So we'll scroll all the way down here. So I had it connected to my ZTE Blade X Max. And here we go. So this is the app itself. And it looks like I hit a button there. All right, so you can see it has your steps, so it's going to count your steps from the watch. That's just scanning for the device. It shows that it's already connected to my LES 1. Application alert, that's just going to allow you to pick which applications you want to have sent to the watch. So you can see that pretty much everything is defaulted, checkmarked by default, which means you're going to get notifications from every single app. So that's where you're going to check that. Remote control settings. This is if you're using it as a Bluetooth connected device. This just allows you to allow the watch to control your camera shutter and also your music control. So the volume control and track forward, track backward. We have send pictures. So of course we can send pictures from the watch to the phone. And then we have find device. So that would be another option there as well. Not going to go into all of those, but you can see over here we have this Me option, so there's some updates. That's where you can find your updates. This is an option that's not available, as you can see the find. So it is a relatively limited app, but it is there, and so that's nice. So I'm going to go ahead and shut that off at the moment. Now we're going to take a look at the watch itself. So in terms of build quality, I do think that the watch is built very nice. We have a metal bezel here, and I'm not exactly sure what kind of glass they have, but it does have a screen protector built into it, that it comes with. So I just left that screen protector on. You can see it's kind of getting a little messy on my watch, but it does have that. Now, one thing I will mention, and this is maybe a little bit of a downfall of a watch like this one, is that the bands are not removable, because as you can see, there are actually antennas built into, that's what these parts right here are. There are antennas built into the watch band itself, so they couldn't fit them all into the watch, so they have to put them in here. And one thing I did forget to mention here is the fact that this has a 350 milliamp hour battery, and the way you're going to charge it is with this little guy right here. So it's just going to slap on there. It magnetizes to it, very simple, and then you're going to plug a micro USB cable in that it does come with. So that's what you get in the box. Basically just this and that cable. Now actually I should mention this one did come with some extra things, so I'm going to go ahead and pop this open, because it did come with some nice extras that I was kind of surprised by. So that's where the watch was, obviously, and this is where the screwdriver is that you're going to use to pop out the SIM card. And for some reason it came with this. This was kind of nice. It came with a really nice cable here. This is a micro USB cable, and you can see it's a nice nylon cable. Obviously I wasn't using it. So this is what you would use to charge it. I'm actually using a different one from another watch that happens to look basically the exact same. This is a Z-Blaze Thor, and they're pretty much identical watches. There really is almost no difference between the two, other than the bezels here, and obviously you can see this one says Lemfo on it, this one says Z-Blaze on it, and this one has a little bit of a different watch band, a little bit more sportier look to it, and this one is, I'd say this one's a little bit more flexible, I think. Feels a little more flexible, but they're basically identical watches. So this is a Z-Blaze Thor, which I already previously reviewed, if you want to check out that video. And then this one is the Lemfo LES 1. So getting back into the watch in terms of build quality, you can see where it charges. There's our heart rate monitor. Again, we already talked about the SIM card there. We have a speaker here, so that's nice. Built right into it. We have a microphone. This is a 2 megapixel camera, kind of interesting that it has that option. And then this is just our single button. And you can see around the bezel we have some options, and I just got a notification, so let's see what that was. All right, a yoga mat. Somebody wants me to review a yoga mat, but you can see these are our notifications, and I already talked about the speaker, so let's go ahead and listen to it real quick since I have this right here. Let's see if it gives me the option. There it is. So that's the speaker of the watch itself. Go ahead and put it. Okay, so you can see it's very small. Come on! Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, I can't stop it. I can't stop the feeling, and I can't stop the song either. Oh, there we go. All right, stopped it. Whew. All right, so I was having a hard time hitting that pause button. So anyways, that is what the notifications look like, and let's just jump back out of there. And this is just one of the many watch faces that you have available. So if you press down, long press, you can kind of go through all the different options that are available. These are ones that I actually downloaded, so any of them with that little minus sign are the ones that I downloaded just to try a few out. This is the one I actually used most of the time, but this one is the one that I just kind of recently went with. But there's all kind of watch faces available here. Pretty much unlimited in terms of the watch faces, so that's what it comes with. That first one actually has some art to it that's kind of cool, some not 3D effects, but some motion effects to it, so there we go. It's kind of cool. Definitely going to wear down the battery a lot faster. No doubt about that. And I did mention that if you have it connected as a 3G device, so if you're using your 3G data service to it, you're not going to get very good battery life. I would say somewhere around 10 to 12 hours. I was using it as a Bluetooth connected device to my phone, and that way you're definitely going to get through a day, or at least I had no problem getting through a day. Once you use GPS, that certainly will start to shorten your battery life, but if you hit this plus button, that's where you're going to get into the other watch faces that are available. And like I mentioned, it's basically limitless. There are a ton of watch faces available, but you don't need to see every single one of those. So now it looks like I'm stuck with this one for the moment, but we're going to switch it out to one that I like. So right now, that's where I have step count. You can see the heart rate. The heart rate, unfortunately, is not a continuous heart rate monitor. It's only going to work when you actually go into the heart rate app. So, whoops, I hit the wrong thing. So we're going to go over here. And if you want to check out your heart rate, you're going to have to go into the health app, if I can find it. There it is. So that app is where you're going to get your heart rate. And then also you can turn the pedometer on there. Now, it is a continuous pedometer that doesn't have to be turned on. It just kind of does it on its own. But we'll go ahead and go through the different apps that are available on the watch. But again, this is an Android watch. So you can basically get any app that you can get on your phone with Android 5.1 is available on this watch to use. So I've downloaded a few, but the first one, of course, we have contacts. I'm not going to go into that because then I'll show you all my contacts. They have a phone, so that's, of course, if you're using it as a 3G phone. It will actually give you, of course, a notification if you're getting a phone call. Once it's connected to Bluetooth, that will work, but you can't actually make phone calls from the watch unless you're using it with the SIM card in it. Same thing with messaging. That's really only going to work if you have your SIM card in there, but you will get a notification, like I showed you earlier, if you get a message that comes to your phone. So we have settings. We'll jump back into that in a little bit. Remote capture basically allows you to, what I was showing you earlier, I'd come in here, and right now it's not going to open up the camera because you have to actually have the phone on for that to work, and it has to be unlocked. So you have to have the phone unlocked. Now we'll go back in there, and it should work now. Just going to take a little while to see. So now I have remote capture. All right, so we don't want to do that right now, but that's how that works. We have a browser, of course. It's really hard to use, but it's available. So if for some reason you want to browse the internet on your watch, you can do that. We have a calendar. The calendar is super basic. You're probably going to want to download another calendar like Google Calendar or whatever, because this basically is just literally showing you a calendar. That's all it is. It doesn't show you any dates or anything like that. So you'll want to download whatever calendar app you would use on your phone if you really want access to the full calendar. The clock is basically just going to give us the option of setting alarms and a stopwatch. So it is nice that they have that. Get back out of there. And we have a camera. So the camera is actually going to use this camera now. So the other one was the remote camera. This one's actually going to use the camera here. And that 2-megapixel camera is definitely not going to take any stellar shots, but it is available there. So it's an option that you have. So if I kind of have to turn it to get the proper shot here, but you can see some of the phones I have available over there. But that's how we're going to do that. And you can actually do a video as well. And that's going to store on your SD card. And then we have into the storage that's available on here. There is no SD card on here. Gallery is just going to take a look at the pictures that we already took. We have music available. We have a remote control for, this is for music. I already mentioned that one before, so it can control the volume of our music over here. So I don't know if I have anything queued up on this phone at the moment. It doesn't look like it. Oh, it is. That's actually playing from the phone now. All right, turn that off. All right, and so that's just going to control your phone music there. So then we have a sound recorder, which is going to use the microphone to record. We have a file manager. Of course, you understand what that is. We have a Find Me. That's actually going to allow us to find our phone. Okay, so that works really well. And we have a health. We already showed you that. Weather, this one, you're definitely going to want to download a different weather app because this one literally will only show you Celsius. I guess if you live in the US, but if you live outside the US, maybe you want Celsius. But at least if you live in the US, you're probably going to want to download a different app. But it is available there. We have a voice search, so again, that's going to be Google search, and that does work very well. We have the Play Store, and you can go ahead and go in there, and you can download games. So I showed actually with this watch that you can play some pretty light games on there. So actually, I think it was Hill Climb Racer that I was showing, but yeah, you can actually play games as long as they're kind of smaller games. You're not going to be able to play any like large, obviously, shooter games or anything like that. We have Google Maps. Now, these are the apps that I've added to it since I've gotten the watch. So we have Play Music, Nova Launcher, Strava, and I had downloaded a clock as a widget because I was trying to check it out to see what it would be like to use the watch with Nova Launcher as my launcher, and I still have to play with that a little bit more. So I was using Strava to track my runs because, of course, this has GPS built into it, which works very well. And yeah, so those are the options that are available in here. I mentioned the settings, so we'll go ahead and go back into that just real quick. And we have some sound settings, display settings. The app list style really doesn't have any settings built into it. It's just going to display which apps, but you can see there's only one option, so really that's not even worth having. Sound is just going to control our different sounds, so I have the media turned all the way up or the music turned all the way up, but that's the only options you have there. And for display, if we go in there, we're just changing our brightness level, things like that. Let's see if there's anything here. So connect, you can just show what connections are available. So Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, you can actually use it as a Wi-Fi hotspot. That's not something I've done, but then we have GPS, of course, built into it. Very nice. And we have Mobile Assistant, which is actually what you're going to do. You're going to use that Mobile Assistant app. It's going to give you a QR code. It's not an app, but it's going to give you a QR code to download that WiiWare app that I showed you earlier. And gestures, there's just two of them here. So we have screen raising, so that would be flipping it up to turn the screen on. And then the pedometer service, that's going to keep the pedometer on at all times. So I always leave that one on because it's definitely worth having. Now, power saving doesn't really actually do anything. So if I go into power saving, it's just going to show you, the watch usage so far, and there really is no power saving option. So I'm not sure why it's exactly called power saving. Basically, it's just going to show you your battery stats. That's the only thing this app does. Or that's the only thing that setting does. We can check out the different languages. So come down here, and there's plenty of languages available here. And I'll let you check those out in the description if you are interested. And so then we can change our keyboard if we want. We'll go out of that. Date and time, of course, that's going to set your date and time, and of course reset, and that's it. So that is basically what you get with this watch. Now, one thing I will recommend, and I want to just kind of point this out because this is an important settings menu option, is if you hold down this button right here, we have the power off, the reboot, and then the recent tasks. So you can go in here and you can swipe away some recent tasks that you were messing with, and to try to save up some of that RAM in the watch and save your battery life a little bit. So you can see that so far in this review, I've only gone through 3%. So that's pretty good. Right now, that's as Bluetooth tethered, and it will get you through a full day that way. But again, if you're using it with a 3G service, it's not going to get you through a full day, at least in my experience. So we're going to hold that button back down, and up here, this little guy right here, what that does is it's going to allow you to actually see. So when you turn it to small, when you turn it to small, that's actually a feature I like to have, because when you go into certain apps like the Play Store, let's do the Play Store. That's a good example. So if I had it filling up the entire screen, some of these features wouldn't even be available. So I'll just kind of show you what it looks like. So notice that right now I can use the voice search. I can go up here and hit that menu. But if I go into the full version, and then go back to it. So now we'll go back to the Play Store. See, now I can't, there's no way for me to get to that voice search or to that menu. So that's why you use that option. So that's something very useful to have. So turn it back to small, and now when I go back to it, I have that option available again. So that is something that you want to do. That is definitely a weakness of a watch like this, is that it's not really optimized for any of these apps, whereas something like this, an Android Wear watch, those apps are designed specifically for the Android Wear 2.0 system, whereas these are not optimized, and so you have to deal with a super tiny screen, but it's better than nothing. And this watch costs $100 versus a watch that full price is $300. So definitely a watch worth checking out. This is the Lemfo LES 1. If you guys have any questions or comments or anything that you'd like to know about the watch, anything that maybe I didn't cover in this review, it's been kind of a long review already, but if there's anything that I missed that you might want to know about the watch, let me know down in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.